So, is 2026 actually the best time to buy a house in America? Real estate agents will tell you one thing, mortgage brokers another, and economists? They're completely divided. But what do the actual numbers reveal? Stay with me, because the truth might surprise you. Let me be straight with you. The housing market in 2026 is not the same as 2023 or 2024. Something fundamental has shifted. We just came out of what experts called the most dramatic mortgage rate environment in a generation. Interest rates climbed from historic lows of 2.8% back in 2021 to over 7.5% in 2023. And today, we're hovering somewhere between 6.8% and 7.2%. That matters a lot, because on a $350,000 house, which is close to the median U.S. home price, the difference between a 5% mortgage rate and a 7% mortgage rate is roughly $500 more per month. That's $6,000 per year. Over 30 years, you're paying almost $180,000 extra. But here's where it gets interesting. The Federal Reserve has been signaling rate cuts. Not certain rate cuts, not yet, but the possibility is there. And that's creating this weird psychological moment in the market right now. So what's actually happening with mortgage rates? The Federal Reserve controls something called the federal funds rate, which is the interest rate that banks charge each other overnight. This indirectly influences mortgage rates. It's not a direct correlation, but it matters. In January 2026, we saw mortgage rates soften slightly. 30-year fixed mortgages dropped to an average of 6.84%. 15-year mortgages, which are popular with refinancers, were around 6.27%. The 5-to-1 ARM or adjustable rate mortgage was sitting at 6.15%. Now, before you get excited about those softer rates, understand the reality. These are still nearly triple what we saw in 2021. If you're a first-time homebuyer who's only shopping in 2024 or 2025, 6.8% feels high. But historically, this is still pretty reasonable. From 1985 to 2008, average mortgage rates ranged between 6.5% and 8.5%. We'd gotten spoiled by that weird 2020 to 2021 pandemic anomaly. Those rates were an aberration, not the norm. Here's where the actual buying opportunity lives. In inventory. For years, the problem was shortage. Not enough houses on the market. Sellers had all the power. Multiple offers. Bidding wars. Sound familiar? That's changed. In early 2026, we're seeing inventory climbing in most major U.S. markets. We're not talking about a flood, not yet. But the supply-demand balance is shifting. In places like Austin, Denver, and Phoenix, inventory increased by 15 to 25% compared to last year. What does that mean for you as a buyer? Negotiating power. For the first time since 2019, buyers have leverage again. If you find a house and the seller is firm on price, you can walk. There's another house around the corner. According to the National Association of Realtors, markets that saw the most inventory increases also saw the most price moderation. Markets like Tennessee, North Carolina, and Austin saw prices actually decline or flatline while inventory rose. This is critical. You're not in a race anymore. You can take your time. You can negotiate. You can say "no" to a bad deal without fear. But here's the thing about the housing market. There is no national housing market. There are dozens of them. Let me break down 5 major regions you should know about. Region 1, the Sun Belt, Austin, Phoenix, Miami, Nashville. These markets exploded from 2020 to 2023. People fled cold states for warm weather during the pandemic. Prices nearly doubled. But, and this is important, they're cooling down now. Austin prices are down 8% from peak. Phoenix inventory is up 40%. If you're looking here, you have leverage. The best time to buy in Sunbelt markets? Probably now or next quarter before rates inevitably drop and demand spikes again. Region 2, the Rust Belt, Cleveland, Pittsburgh, Detroit. These markets never got crazy expensive. Median prices in Cleveland are still under $200,000. These are stable, affordable markets. If affordability is your primary concern, you're not waiting for a better time. You're buying now because rates could jump and erase your advantage. Region 3, coastal tech hubs, San Francisco, NYC, Seattle, LA. San Francisco and the Bay Area, prices are still inflated, median $1.4 million. But supply is increasing. New York, Manhattan inventory is up. If you've been waiting for tech hub prices to become reasonable, don't hold your breath. But the extreme bidding wars? Ending. Region 4, secondary markets, Denver, Portland, Charlotte. These are where the real opportunity is. Good jobs, lower costs than coastal hubs, but population growth. Denver, Charlotte, and Raleigh are still affordable-ish with real economic momentum. The best time to buy? These markets reward immediate action because they're underrated. Region 5, struggling secondary markets, St. Louis, Buffalo, Syracuse. Population declining, jobs declining. These markets are not a good buy just because they're cheap. Price isn't the only factor. A $150,000 house means nothing if your job prospects are zero. Okay, so here's where most YouTube videos fail. They talk about the market without talking about you. Because here's the uncomfortable truth. Whether 2026 is the best time to buy depends way more on your personal situation than the national market conditions. 3 critical questions before you buy. Question 1. Can you afford a 20% down payment? Or are you ready to pay PMI for an FHA loan? Let's be honest. If you're scraping together 3% down and your credit score is 620, whether mortgage rates are at 5% or 7% is irrelevant. You're not ready. The market isn't stopping you. Your finances are. The median down payment in America is around 12%. If you want to avoid PMI and actually build equity faster, aim for 20%. That's $70,000 on a $350,000 house. Question 2. What's your income stability and debt situation? Banks want to see a debt-to-income ratio below 43%. That means if you make $6,000 a month, your total debt payments, car loans, credit cards, student loans, and your new mortgage should be below $2,580. If you're working a gig economy job or freelance, lenders want 2 years of history. If you just got hired, many lenders won't touch you until you've been on the job for 6 months. Here's the real talk. Even if mortgage rates drop to 4% tomorrow, if your income is unstable or your debt is high, you're not getting a great loan. You might not get a loan at all. Question 3. Are you staying in this house for at least 5 years? Closing costs on a home purchase are typically 2 to 5%. That's $7,000 to $17,500 on a $350,000 house. Selling costs are another 5 to 10%. That's another $17,500 to $35,000. If you buy today and sell in 18 months when rates drop and you want to upgrade, you've lost $25,000 to transaction costs alone. You're not competing in the market. You're competing against your own transaction costs. So the best time to buy is when you're financially ready. That might be now. That might be next year. But it's not about the market. It's about you. So after all this data, what's the actual answer? Is 2026 the best time to buy a house? Here's my verdict. If you're financially ready, stable income, manageable debt, can put down 15 to 20%, and you're planning to stay 5+ years, buy now. Inventory is rising, you have negotiating power, and rates might drop later, but if they do, you can refinance. You're not in a worse position. If you're not financially ready, don't wait for the perfect market. Get your finances right first. Pay off debt. Save for a down payment. Get your credit score up to 740 plus. That matters infinitely more than whether rates are at 6.8% or 5.8%. If you're in the Sunbelt markets, Austin, Phoenix, Denver, the urgency is highest. Cooling market, rising inventory. Next quarter could shift momentum. If you're in stable, affordable Midwest markets, rates matter more. You could benefit from waiting for a potential 5% rate environment. If you're in coastal tech hubs, patience is rewarded. You're not buying soon anyway. Wait for more inventory and stabilizing prices. Action steps to take now. Get pre-approved, not pre-qualified. Approved. Shows sellers you're serious. Takes 2 to 3 days. Check your credit score. You need 740 plus for best rates. If you're below 700, spend the next 3 months improving it. Calculate your real budget. That means down payment plus closing costs plus emergency fund to keep. Don't max yourself out. Work with a local realtor, not a team, not a company. A single agent who knows your specific market. Don't panic. The market isn't going anywhere. Your timing isn't about FOMO. It's about positioning yourself correctly. Look, I get it. Real estate is emotional. It's the biggest purchase you'll ever make. And when you see headlines about housing crisis and prices dropping, you don't know if you should pull the trigger or wait. The answer? Get the fundamentals right. Then the best time to buy takes care of itself. And if you do that, 2026 could absolutely be your best time. If this helped, drop a comment below about your housing situation. I read them all. And if you're serious about real estate strategy, not just market noise, subscribe. We break down actual data every week. See you in the next one. Thanks for watching. Let's build wealth together. This video only for education purpose.